Bonjour, bonsoir, bienvenue, welcome to another video. And before I get into this video, I want to tell all of you who are new to this channel, I don't spend all my time online. I don't spend my time online every day, and I don't do that. I don't spend my time behind a keyboard and a computer screen. I don't spend all my time doing that because I got a lot to do. I got things to do, and and it's hard to talk to anybody here in the U.S. face to face. Yeah, I like to talk to people face to face. Outside and in real life, not behind a keyboard and a computer screen. So I just want to clear all that up with all of you. Okay, all right, back to the scene of the crime. You guys saw this in a previous video. I'm on Winston Wu's YouTube channel, Happier Abroad, Escape USA and Date Foreign Women. I subbed to this channel. I've been subbing to this channel back around 2018. And, this channel opened my eyes on how the U.S. is compared to other countries when it comes to social or human connection, dating life, social life, and the freedom to be yourself. So, I'm gonna play one of the videos on Happier Abroad. I'm gonna play one of the videos on the Happier Abroad YouTube channel. So bear with me. Let me stop the camera. Okay, I found a video on the Happier Abroad YouTube channel. I found one video and it's titled, "Why Do Immigrants Come to America If There's No Happiness, Freedom, or Social Connection There?" So I'm gonna play this video and just give my thoughts on it. I watched this video. It was a good video. So the guy that you see right here with the mouse pointer that's on his face, that's Winston Wu. That's Winston Wu. The happier. Sorry. Let me start over again. Slip of the tongue. This picture on the screen, which is a video, this is Happier Abroad founder Winston Wu. And Winston Wu made a discovery in year 2002 when he went abroad and met a lot of girls in Russia. And I went onto his Facebook page and I talked to him through there, and he showed me a lot of pictures of women that he met in Russia. And he said this to me when he was showing me the pictures. So look at this. I'm the Mac Daddy of all of them. I got all these women around me. And I laughed. And something inside of me, I wasn't interested in this stuff, and I should be, because this is good. Meeting a lot of women, you can meet a lot of women easily instead of here in the U.S. because, women here in the U.S. think that all men are creeps, weirdos, pedophiles, and perverts. They think all men are Harvey Weinstein, Bill Cosby, Jeffrey Epstein, and R. Kelly. So, yeah, in Winston Wu, throughout the 1990s, he was alone, and he never met any women in his life. It was hard to meet women and hard to make friends because he lived in the U.S. He was born in Taiwan, and he grew up in California. I'm from California myself. I was born there. That's my home state here in the U.S. That's where I'm from. And okay. Sounds to me. Winston. I think he grew up around San Francisco. I don't know what, or Northern California, probably. Yeah, I was born in Southern California. I grew up a little bit in Southern California. Well, basically, I spent my childhood in Southern California. I spent like a little half of my childhood and my teen years here in Texas. So let me go ahead and play this video. Okay, I'll just give my thoughts on it. Also, I'm going to be playing a lot of videos in this video that I'm doing. So here's the first video.
Hi folks, this is Winston. I haven't done a face video in a long time, so just wanted to say hi. I felt like doing one today. I don't know why. I hope this comes out right and that you can hear my voice. If not, I'll just try to increase the volume on this with some software on my laptop or something. So yeah, hi everyone, this is Winston again. Long time no see. Okay, so today I just wanted to make a video about a puzzling question that I have that I've been wondering about, which is, why do immigrants want to come to America? I mean, for a long time, immigrants have wanted to come to America for, I don't know, a better life or whatever, or more opportunity or whatever, and sometimes they'll even say freedom or whatever, but I mean, if you look at reality, America is not a happy place. It does not even have freedom, and it does not even have any human connection or social connection. Okay, the people in America don't look happy at all. They don't radiate inner joy or bliss, you know. They don't look happy. I mean, they can say they're happy, but they don't look happy. I mean, they just look miserable and repressed.
He made a really good point. I don't know why people from other countries are immigrants from, I guess, from Mexico and Latin American countries, and I guess countries in Africa or Haiti. Yeah, they're coming to America because they're escaping violence, crime, everything that's horrible that's going on in these countries. And yeah, in Haiti, Haiti is overrun by street gangs. Haiti is being taken over by gangs. Well, it's taken over by gangs. Yeah, Haiti is run by gangs, and why is that? Because they killed the president of Haiti, and Haiti is under control by gangs. And these immigrants who are coming to America from these countries, like, they're basically coming to a country where there is no happiness, freedom, or social connection. And also, Winston here, he made a great point on people in America are grouchy, mean, repressed. They're not happy. They can say that they're happy, but they're not happy. Yeah, like I went out in public, to a city that's about like I say about like 13 miles or 24 kilometers away. I'm using metric kilometers. Yeah, I went to this city, and I saw firsthand that I saw a lot of people, some people, not all of them, We're mean, repressed, grouchy. They're not happy. They don't want to talk to anybody at all. And these immigrants who are coming to America, they just don't see that. All they care about is coming here, coming to America just to live a better life. You know, they come here for a better life. Some say they came here for freedom, and everything else. So yeah, they're just basically come to a country where it's just there's nothing, there's no happiness, freedom, or social connection. Nothing. It's just all business, seriousness, just work all the time and do business and just and the only way you're gonna talk to people is through business related purposes. And that's about it. It's all business. So let me go ahead and play this.
And you can see it in general, anywhere you go, especially in the suburbs and even in the cities. I mean, people just look grouchy and grumpy and just dissatisfied and not happy. Um, and you don't have to take my word for it. And I'm not projecting. You can go out and look for yourself. Americans are probably one of the least happy people in the world. Okay, so why is where's the better life or the freedom or whatever? I mean, it's insane if you think about it. I mean, if America's not happy or free and there's no human connection, we all need, humans are tribal. We need social connection. We're not meant to be hermits.
Yeah, he's right. We're human beings. We need social human connection. We're meant to talk to each other. We're meant to connect with one another. I mean, we got a voice box that gives us the ability to communicate with each other. Yeah, we're not meant to be hermits. But that doesn't mean a thing here in America. Okay. I'll just continue playing this.
So, what's the point of moving to America? Why do immigrants idolize America so much? Especially immigrants from Asia or I don't know, Mexico or whatever. I mean, those are the ones that want to come the most, or Africa or whatever, or refugees or whatever. I mean, um, yeah, not a lot of Europeans want to come to America. I mean, they come for vacation, but they don't want to live in America. So you don't usually find European immigrants, except maybe in the 1800s and early 1900s. But yeah, nowadays life in Europe is better than America. So, they don't come anymore as immigrants. It's, usually Asians or Hispanics or blacks or whatever that want to immigrate to America. Um,
Oh yeah, that's true. Um, people people from Europe, countries in Europe, yeah, they don't want to come here. Yeah, they don't want to move here because they know that the country that they live in Europe, any country in Europe, any country that they're from, they know their country is better than America. Yeah, quality of life, good food that doesn't have any artificial ingredients, toxins, GMOs, preservatives, and chemical based junk that's in the food. Yeah, Europeans don't have that in their food because the country that they live in Europe, or any country that they live in, any one of these countries in Europe, they ban the stuff that's in the foods here in America. Yeah, plus they're under a national healthcare system called universal healthcare. Yeah, national healthcare system where they're covered, where where the health care is free to the point of service, and it comes out of general taxation. And it's insane that that why would these people in Europe want to come to the United States that that don't have a good don't have a strong good quality of life, a social safety net, a decent healthcare system. Like, why do you want to come to a country like America that doesn't have that? If I was European and I see the US for what it is, I wouldn't come here at all. Because I know that my country, even though it's not perfect and it has a lot of problems, it's way better than America. Okay, we continue on.
But why? I mean, how is America a better life? There's no social connection. The people look repressed and miserable. And they know they're slaves. They're just slaves to money. They're slaves to work, and they know it. They're not free, and that's what you are in America. You're a slave to money. You're a slave to the system, and you have no happiness to compensate for it. You have no, you don't have real friends. You don't have true friendship or love or romance or connection. You don't have any of those, because any friends you make feel like an acquaintance. They don't feel like real friends. And you're not allowed to seek love or romance because those things don't exist.
Okay.
Modern American does not even believe.
Whoops. Sorry about that, folks. Yeah, let me go ahead and pause the camera.
But why? How is America a better life? There's no social connection. The people look repressed and miserable. And they know they're slaves. They're just slaves to money. They're slaves to work, and they know it. They're not free, and that's what you are in America. You're a slave to money. You're a slave to the system, and you have no happiness to compensate for it. You have no, you don't have real friends. You don't have true friendship or love or romance or connection. You don't have any of those, because any friends you make feel like an acquaintance. They don't feel like real friends. And you're not allowed to seek love or romance because those things don't exist. The modern American does not even believe in love or romance.
And that's true. Yeah, I got a comment from a video on my YouTube channel. It's titled Social Isolation. I posted it 5 days ago, and I got some comments on them. I got some comments on this video. So I'm gonna pick one comment out, and this comment is it's absolutely ridiculous. It's meaningless. It doesn't mean nothing. So I'm gonna go ahead and read this comment. I think if you want to, you can socialize with others. If you are not comfortable with being alone, then just join a group and not do stuff. If you can't find one, make one. On an island where there is no other people, yes, you can really feel isolated. But with other human beings around you, just take the right step in the right direction. Apart from that, you have every right to feel lonely and think the world is messed up. So, yeah, that doesn't align with what Winston Wu just says. Okay, I'm gonna go and move back what Winston says. So, okay.
But why? How is America a better life? There's no social connection. the people look repressed and miserable. And they know they're slaves. They're just slaves to money. They're slaves to work, and they know it. They're not free, and that's what you are in America. You're a slave to money. You're a slave to the system, and you have no happiness to compensate for it. You have no, you don't have real friends. You don't have true friendship or love or romance or connection. You don't have any of those because any friends you make feel like an acquaintance. They don't feel like real friends. And you're not allowed to seek love or romance because those things don't exist.
Yeah, yeah. If you're friends with someone in America, it's just an acquaintance. It's not real friendship. It's not meaningful and true and real, and it's not. You're just like, and this person tells me to join a group, and says that and thinks that I'm online all the time. I just go around trying to talk to people online and talk to people in comment sections on videos here on YouTube, which I don't do because I got a life, I got things to do. I work. I'm busy. I don't got time for this stuff. And I don't. And what's the point of joining a group or creating a group? What's the point of that? Because, I believe in just going to anybody and talking to anybody out in public, face to face. I don't, I'm not into cliques or special groups. I'm not into that because I'm not going to get true and meaningful friendships. I'm not going to get love, sex, romance, and companionship out of a woman in these groups, social groups or cliques. So, let me read this comment one more time from my YouTube channel. Well, a comment from my video. Let me go read this comment from this video that's on my YouTube channel. It's titled Social Isolation. And let me go read this comment again. I think if you want to, you can socialize with others. If you're not comfortable of being alone, then just join groups and not do stuff. Just join a group. Yeah, that's not going to do me any good at all. Because that's what the United States is all about. It's all about joining a group, joining a clique. It's not about just going to any person in public or anybody in the U.S., outside, around a lot of people. Yeah, you can, I'm going to say, yeah, you can go to any person you want to here in the U.S. Yeah, outside, in public, around a lot of people. It doesn't matter who you go to. Like, you're going to find some people who are going to talk to you. You're going to find some people who aren't going to talk to you. And nobody's not going to invite you over for dinner at their house or nothing. And some people are just going to ignore you. You don't have any true or meaningful friendships in special groups or cliques. You don't have that. Now, if you go to a foreign country that believes in social or human connection, a country that has a lot of happiness, freedom, and social connection. There's a saying from this man. There's two freedoms that are missing here in the United States. That is the freedom to be yourself and social freedoms. That's something that the U.S. lacks. And this person on the social isolation video on my YouTube channel, thinks that I go online and I just mess around online and just talk to people. And in the video, I said that I was alone. And they tell me to go out and start a clique or start a clique slash start a group. If I can't find a group, just start my own. And that right there doesn't help me or anybody. And I'm beyond all of that. And I think for myself. So that bullshit talk here in the US doesn't mean anything to me. It's all BS. It's all garbage. It's trash. That doesn't help anybody. It doesn't help me at all. You're not allowed to seek love or romance in a social group or special group, cliques. You're not allowed to because, in social groups slash cliques, they just push people out. They just accept people who think like them. And they push out outsiders who don't think like them, who wants to join. And, if I get pushed out, if I want to go to a clique and start talking to people, I get pushed out. I'm not going to go and just form a clique. I'm not going to do that. Because in the future, there's no need for me to do that. There's no need for me to form my own clique or social group if I can't get into a group or find one. I just believe in just going up and just talking to anybody. Because I'm not into social groups or cliques. I'm not into all of that stuff. I just like to just go out and just talk to anybody. Just find someone, anybody, and just talk to them. And yeah, I can't talk to everybody. I can go and just talk to other people. But the majority, not the majority, but the fact of the matter is, like, there's way too many antisocial, cliquish people, and people who are grouchy and repressed, who don't want to talk to anybody, don't want to have anything to do with anybody. It's all about doing business. It's all about working all the time. It's just being a slave to a job that you don't enjoy. Yeah. You just be a slave at a job that you don't enjoy. I know to some people who work a job here in the U.S., it may be not slavery to them, but it's slavery to me and this man right here that you see before you. Okay, here's another video from the Happier Abroad YouTube channel. And in this video, Winston Wu is in Las Vegas. And yeah, in this video, he's in Las Vegas. And the title of this video is, "Why are Las Vegas people so closed off and antisocial? It feels like a crime to talk to strangers." So I'm going to go ahead and play this and give my thoughts on this video.
This is Winston again. Just wanted to show you my neighborhood in Las Vegas, in the Las Vegas suburbs. As you can see, nobody's outside. Everyone is always inside their house. Nobody comes out to talk to anybody, and I feel like a anomaly just standing out here because everyone's just locked inside, and nobody ever comes out even to talk to anyone or just to even sit on the porch and relax or have lemonade. I mean, we don't even have a porch here, and of course a few people are walking their dogs and stuff, and they might say hi to you, but that's it. I mean,
yeah, I can relate to this. I live in a neighborhood where everybody's in their home. Everybody's locked up. And, and I'm guilty of that too. Yeah, people are locked up in their homes. Nobody comes out and talk to you or anything. or nothing. And I was kind of closed off and antisocial in the past, but I'm trying to break out of that. And I am. It's going to be hard for me to, well, it's not going to be hard. I can break out of this, and I can. I'm just about broken out of this. So, I'm learning to be comfortable around strangers. And I am. Yeah, it's not, yeah, in the neighborhood that I live in, I live in a neighborhood out in the forest. Not a lot of houses. And I have a neighbor across the street. My neighbor doesn't talk to me or anything or nothing. Um, and and I don't know, like, I mean, if I try to invite someone over for dinner at my house, they won't go. Or if someone, or and yeah, nobody invites anybody over for dinner. Not something to drink like a water, beer. I don't drink beer. A bottle of Perrier, clearly Canadian, sparkling water beverage, tea, lemonade, nothing. Everybody's just closed off in their house, And that's in the cities and suburbs. And I don't live in a city. I don't live in a suburb. I live basically out in the country. And I live near Liberty City, Texas, and I gotta say, it's not a real city. It doesn't have a mayor. It doesn't have a police force. Police services. Liberty City just gets its police services from the Gregg County Sheriff's Department and the Texas Highway Patrol branch of the Texas Department of Public Safety, Texas DPS, and a volunteer fire service. So I don't want to go on. I don't want to talk about that, but people are locked up in their homes, and it's like that where I live. So let me continue with this video.
Nobody ever socializes with you at all. Period. It's worse than Seattle or Bellingham, Washington. At least there, people talk to you occasionally, and people there are more polite, and if you put in the work, you can meet some people here and there, but here it's like zero, none. Nobody ever talks to you or socializes with you ever. Maybe on the strip, on the Las Vegas strip, it's a little different because people are on vacation there, and they might be more loud and boisterous, but in the Las Vegas suburbs and neighborhoods and strip malls outside the strip, it's completely antisocial. 100% antisocial. Not 99, 100%. Just, especially, yeah, nobody socializes you, and when you go out, you never meet people at all, not once, and it feels kind of like taboo and illegal to talk to strangers like you're breaking the law or something. It's really weird. There's this super cold wall between people, and especially especially around the women. It feels super illegal to talk to them like you're breaking the law or something. So
I don't know why it's like that. Okay, why come it feels illegal and weird just to talk to people and the women? Why? It shouldn't be weird. That's normal. Go up and just talk to somebody, anybody. Like, how can it be weird? I don't get that. You know, it shouldn't be weird or illegal. Like, yeah, I know, like in some parts of America, I guess here in Las Vegas, where Winston is in this video, and places like it, I guess it feels like a crime. The name of this video, it feels like a crime to talk to strangers. It's a crime. And it's not a crime. It's normal. You know, in countries outside the U.S., some countries that are sociable, you know, like Latin American countries, yeah, countries in Latin America, like Colombia, I think Venezuela, Brazil, Costa Rica, Mexico. Yeah, you got some countries in the Caribbean or Caribbean, like Jamaica. Like, you know, it's not a crime to talk to people in those parts of the world, but here in the U.S., it is. It's really weird. It's strange. It's just not right. You know, it doesn't have to be this way, but, you know, that's just how it is right now. You just got to just accept it. But, you know, I don't have to accept this because I can get out of America and move to a country where people believe in social or human connection, where I can connect with people, where I can talk to people, meet people for the first time, form friendships, and find that special lady out there who will be my girlfriend or end up being my wife.
It makes me feel like a creep when I try, and it's really, really awkward. And, you know, I gotta be honest, this is the most antisocial city I've ever been in.
Creepy. You're creepy and not right. Creepy and not right. Weird, 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 weird. There's nothing weird, 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 weird. There's nothing weird, 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 or creepy about just coming up and want to talk to someone, just connect with someone. There's nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that. At all. But yeah, and you know, if you try to like talk to someone at your job, like they'll just ignore you and don't want to talk to you, don't want to be your friend. All they care about is just working and making a living. And that's it.
I mean, it was a mistake for my family to move here. I mean, even northern Nevada, like the Reno, Carson City area, is way friendlier than this. I mean, people are more relaxed towards strangers there, but here, not at all. Not at all. Like zero. So I don't know what the problem is here. If anybody knows, maybe you can tell me. You know, I guess you could, like, meet people in Las Vegas in the local area, like, if you go on meetup.com or something, or go to a church. I mean, that's pretty much the only place you can find friendly people in America as an adult. But as you know, I mean, going to a church is awkward, you know, because the people there are very narrow-minded and religious fanatics, and they think the Bible is like God himself, you know. It's
Yeah, yeah, he brought up a good point right there. Like, okay, like the only people you can talk to is like well, you want to meet some people, you just go online and go on to meetup.com or some, you know, or some social site or something. I'm not an internet freak. And going to church and talk to people at church, but you know, people at churches, I agree with them. People at churches are very narrow-minded, and they're a bunch of religious fanatics, and they think the Bible is bigger than God, which is absolutely ridiculous, and it is, And I used to go to church. I don't go to church anymore. So yeah, you can't. Yeah, you can't. Yeah, like going to church in America is a terrible place to meet people at, because people are not open minded in church. They're narrow minded. All they talk about is God and what's in the Bible, and oh, we're gonna die one day. We're gonna go to heaven and meet with Jesus, and all of this stuff. Like, looking at all of this, and it's kind of creepy, and like, and being baptized, like, just someone just take you and dump you in a pool of water, and that's gonna make you a good person. And it doesn't do anything at all. You know, all this stuff in America, like all this stuff that's supposed to make you happy, is all completely useless. And I know it's useless. I think the best remedy, the best medicine, is to simply leave America, the United States, which is a sinking ship, and move to a country where you can obtain love, sex, romance, companionship from a woman, and make friends, and you have the freedom to talk to strangers. You have the freedom to talk to people. You're not gonna talk to everybody. There's some people you can talk to. There's some people you cannot talk to. But yeah, but overall, in that country, overseas, it's not as bad as here in the U.S. So let me go ahead and continue playing this.
Crazy. It's totally illogical and brainwashed. And I'm way too open-minded for that. I mean, I believe in a higher power, but I'm not gonna think the Bible is perfect and equivalent to God Himself. That's just ridiculous. They're just so narrow-minded in church. And I guess you could go to like meetup.com. There's nice people there. With the different groups and hobbies that you can join, and yeah, it's nice. I've gone to meetup groups before in Seattle. But the thing is, I mean, it requires effort, and my heart just isn't here. It's just America's just very antisocial, very sexless, dateless, loveless. The women are not approachable at all. They have a cold wall. They think you're a creep if you talk to them. So you can't do anything here. I mean, you can't go out and try to get dates, love, sex, romance. The only thing you can do here is consume and shop and satisfy your cravings for food, which
Well, that's all you can do here. Just shop and satisfy your cravings for food. And the United States is dateless, sexless, no romance, no love, joy, or blitz, nothing. It's just a workaholic country, just a country that's all about following the rules. It's all business. Everything's all business. Everything's all seriousness. And it doesn't matter if you're alone. You can't talk to anybody. And join, like you said, like meetup.com, like you can find nice people on there, but it takes a lot of effort to do it. He said he don't have it in his heart to do that. And I don't have it in my heart to do that as well, because it takes a lot of work, and in a foreign country that believes in social or human connection, like, you have to go through all that. You can just go and just talk to people easily. Just simple as that. It's at the snap of a finger. Just like that. There's no need for you to like just get into meetup.com or go to a church that's filled to the brim with narrow-minded people who think the Bible is a higher power than God. And yeah, I believe in a higher power, but I'm not a narrow-minded religious fanatic. And I don't go around and preach about freedom and democracy and freedom. You have the right to do this, you have the right to do that in America. In America, you have so much freedom. The United States of America is the only country that has freedom, and those other countries don't have any freedom, which is a big crock of bullshit. America isn't the only country that has a lot of freedom. And I remember someone told me, you have the freedom to get in your car and drive anywhere you want to in America. You have a lot of freedom. Well, you can do that in Canada, that country that's north of the U.S. You can do that in the United Kingdom, France, Spain, Portugal, Italy. Other countries that are not tyrannical dictatorships or authoritarian. In those places, in those countries, you can get in a car and drive wherever you want. America is not the only country that you can do that in. All right, let me go ahead and play this video.
America loves to do it. It loves to sell you stuff. I mean, that's all America does. It tries to sell you stuff, get your money, turn you into a consumer, and fill you with excess food, and there's nothing else to do. That's all there is to do is consumerism and buying products. But you can't go out and meet people or get a date or obtain sex, love, romance, or even human connection or companionship, because in America, America's sexless and dateless and loveless. So it's like they expect you to already be married and settled down. Like you're expected to marry your high school sweetheart or college sweetheart and settle down, and then for the rest of your life you're a workaholic raising a family, and you don't talk to strangers anymore, because America is not a social place. Not like Latin America or Mexico or Southeast Asia or Eastern Europe. It's not a social place. You're not supposed to talk to people. You're supposed to keep to yourself and be married, and there's nothing to do if you're single, because nobody wants to talk to you. And of course, it's taboo to talk about this, because you're not supposed to talk about this. You're supposed to pretend everything in America is normal and just accept it and act like it's normal and not complain about it and not expose it. So everything I'm saying now is taboo, because you're not supposed to talk about this. You're not supposed to be honest and tell the truth about any of this.
He's right. Yeah, in countries like Mexico, Latin America, Southeast Asia, Eastern Europe, in those parts of the world, you can socialize with people. You can connect with people. You can meet new people, form friendships. You can get love, sex, romance, and companionship out of the women and girls in those parts of the world. Yeah, like you can. Yeah, as a single man, yeah, that's good for you. That'll be good for you, and that'll be good for me as well. Yeah, like you ain't gonna get all that here in the U.S. at all. People in America, some parts of America, people are closed off and antisocial. Yeah, you go to the small towns and you go to farms. Yeah, you're gonna find sociable people in those parts of America. But the problem is, everybody is married, everybody has a family, everybody has children. And speaking of having a family, like in the U.S., you're expected to marry your high school sweetheart or college sweetheart, and you have children by this woman, and you're raising a family, you're working all the time, and you don't talk to people anymore, and the American culture expects you to do this and mind your own business and never talk to anybody. That sucks. That sucks. And it does. It sucks. And and people want you to just accept everything to be normal. Someone who left that comment on my social isolation video on my YouTube channel telling me to like go to a group, if I go to a social group, and if I can't get into a social group or find one, I just start my own. And that's what social life in the US is all about. It's just strange, and that person gonna tell me it's my right to think that everything isn't normal. Well, it's not a right, it's reality. And that person is nothing more than a brain dead drone who can't see reality. They just see things for the way it is and pretend it's normal and it's okay. And if you talk about this, according to Winston Wu, if you talk about stuff like this that he just said in this video that I just said, given my thoughts, it's considered taboo and not normal. So yeah.
So yeah, I just wanted to show you that and give you my little rant there. Anyways, yeah, that's the typical suburbia for you. I've been to different states and cities, and yeah, Las Vegas is the most antisocial, unfriendly place I've ever been. I guess it attracts like the lowest quality people, I guess. It's very similar to California. I'm going to close the garage door now. It's very similar to California. It's just very antisocial and cliquish, and just in others, not all states are the same. Like in Utah or New Mexico or Idaho. I mean, people talk to you, strangers. Even though it's superficial, you do get superficial small talk in some states like Utah, Idaho, Montana, New Mexico. What I've noticed is that states that are not very popular or very hip, they tend to have friendlier people than places that are really popular and hip, like Las Vegas or Los Angeles or San Francisco. When something's very popular and hip and gets a lot of media attention, it tends to be less friendly than places that are just not popular, like Idaho or Montana or New Mexico. Those places, strangers will chat you up, and
Yeah, he brought up a good point on that. Like, like I said, like, like you go to small towns and cities in America, you're gonna find people who are sociable, who will talk to you. And also in states like New Mexico, Idaho, and other states that are like it, Montana. Yeah, I think I've been to those parts of the U.S. when I was a teenager. I mean, went on a cross country road trip with my parents, and the people are friendly in those parts of the U.S. But this is my opinion. You ain't gonna meet. You're not. Yeah, as a single man, you're not gonna meet Miss Right, because everybody's married. Everybody has children, and you just out of luck. So yeah. Let me go to the next video, and this is gonna be the last one. Okay, this is going to be the last video. Okay, this video that I'm on is titled three major problems in America that no one dares to talk about, and the overseas solution. Okay. Taboo truth number one. There's no sense of human connection in America. I'll just go ahead and play this.
Taboo truth number one. There is no sense of human connection in America. Now, this is something very obvious that you can see in public. Um, you can go to any public setting or scene in the U.S. or Canada and see that people are basically isolated in bubbles. Um, there's a psychological wall around people. It's not so much physical as psychological. There's a segregation of people into these bubbles, and that makes it really hard to meet people because there's an isolation mentality, um, and between strangers there's like this ice wall, and that's why when you're meeting someone for the first time or trying to chat up a stranger, in America there's a term called breaking the ice with a stranger, because um, it assumes that there's an ice wall between strangers, which means that there's basically a barrier between people, and that makes it really hard to meet people because there's no sense of natural connection or inclusiveness um, by default between people. And so that makes it difficult as well as unnatural to meet people, and that's why most people in America don't feel very confident and comfortable about meeting people, because they're conditioned to feel that it's an awkward thing. And so when they feel awkward about meeting people, then other people feel awkward about meeting them, and then it snowballs into a very antisocial, isolationist society. And that's what the U.S. and Canada basically is. And some say the UK is like that too, but I haven't been there yet, so I can't comment.
Yeah. Yeah, this is an old video of Winston Wu. This is when he was a little younger. He's older now, so yeah, yeah, if you go to any setting or scene in the US or Canada, everybody's isolated in bubbles, and they're just psychological wall and ice barrier where you can't go up and or chat up a stranger or talk to somebody, because people will just completely ignore you, don't want to talk to you. And yeah, people say that Canadians are warm, friendly, polite people. Yeah, that's true. But I ain't gonna say that all Canadians are nice. Some of them are, some of them aren't, and some of them, yeah, they're all friendly and polite. They want to talk, and they just be nice to you. They're just polite to you, be very polite to you. But but it doesn't go farther enough at all. And I think this is from my friend who lives in Mississauga, Ontario, in Canada. He tells me that I think people in Toronto or Mississauga or surrounding cities around Toronto or the GTA, they will say, yeah, like if you want to talk to them about something, they'll say something like this: why do you need to know? Don't worry about it. Or and you got some rude people at fast food restaurants like Dairy Queen in some parts of Canada. Not, but I'm saying all these people are like this. But Canada shares the anti-socialness and everybody being in a bubble. Canada shares that with the U.S. And I've been to Canada, by the way, and I went to Victoria, British Columbia, and I went to that city on a cruise that I went on with my parents and my sister. It was a cruise that sailed from Seattle, Washington to Juneau and Skagway in Alaska, and all the way down to Victoria, British Columbia in Canada, which is the last stop before heading back to the States. And I went to Victoria, not in Victoria, in Victoria, the people were looking at my parents and me. They were smiling from on a bus when we tried to get on the bus to head back to the cruise ship after we went to some souvenir shops and walked around the city and saw the sights. Saw the British Columbia Parliament buildings that had the statue of Queen Victoria in the front of it, and some women offered my parents and my sister and myself to ride on this horse and carriage through Victoria, and we turned it down. And I look back on that, we all laughed at it like it was funny, but that's just part of the British heritage that Victoria and all of BC inherited from. When that and all of Canada was a British colony. And you can't socialize or connect with people in the Great White North, just like you do. Yeah, same thing like you can't do here in the so-called land of the free. So let me continue playing this video.
And so, basically, people have this paranoid mentality that everyone out there could be dangerous, and so it's better to keep to yourself and to keep your interactions only with people that you know. Essentially, in America, every man is an island. And most people don't know their neighbors even, which is very uncommon in the rest of the world. It's an aberration, in fact. And when you're alone in a crowded place, even if there's a lot of people around you or a packed stadium or whatever, you basically feel all alone because there's no sense of connection at all between you and other people.
Oh, that is true. You can't talk to people with outside your group. Yeah, you have to talk to people who that's in your group. You just talk to the people that you know. You can't talk to strangers because there's a psychological wall between two people which keeps them from socializing with one another, and that leads to the loneliness epidemic here in the U.S. / social isolation. So I'm not going to talk about Canada. I'm just going to talk about the U.S. The U.S. is it's just not a place for social human connection. It's not a place for love, sex, romance, and companionship. Yeah, you can't with a woman or girl. You can't go up and talk to the women and girls and get a date with the women and girls, because the women and girls will view you as creepy, weird, not right. And I forgot to mention this, and it's like this, okay, you got the young people and the old people. Here in the U.S., the only people that are down to earth and sociable are the older people. Old folks. People who are walking around with canes and walkers, and people who are in wheelchairs, people who are hooked up to oxygen machines. Yeah, older people, the elderly, those are the only people you can talk to here in the United States. You can't talk to the young people here because the young crowd aren't sociable and down to earth, and they don't want to talk to you and they don't want to have anything to do with you. And if you're an older person, they were taught to be afraid of you. Yeah, the young people in America are taught to be afraid of people who are older than they are, people who are strangers. It's kind of sad. But if you go to the U.S., if you go overseas to countries like Mexico, if you go to countries in Mexico, Latin America, Southeast Asia, Eastern Europe, and in some countries in Europe, the young people are like the older people in America. They're down to earth and sociable. You can connect with them. You can talk to them. You can form friendships with them. And and young women and girls are not afraid of you. It'd be insane for for an older man to date a younger woman or girl who is from these parts of the world. And and be friends with younger men. Be friends with younger women. Yeah, and have truer, meaningful friendships with them. And also in these parts of the world, places like Mexico, Latin America, Southeast Asia, Eastern Europe, some parts of Europe, in some African countries, I don't know. The older people are nothing like the older people in America. Like, some of them are bitter and grouchy and don't want to talk to anybody. I ain't saying that they're all like that. Some of them are, some of them aren't. So, so when it comes to socializing with younger people and older people, in places like Latin America, South America, in places like in Mexico, Latin America, Eastern Asia, some countries in Africa, Southeast Asia, Eastern Europe, some parts of Europe. When it comes to socializing with the younger people and the older people, it's in reverse from how it is here in the United States. So that's all I gotta say in this video, and I apologize to all of you for the video to be long. I just want to make my point. This is a follow up to the social isolation video. Yeah, and I'm gonna keep all of you up to date on me heading to Asia this fall, next October. And I'm gonna put together a vacation video for that, just like I did with the Mediterranean cruise from 2023. So and also before I end this video, I want to apologize to people like Martel the Cool, Isis, Deco Smith, 217 Champion. I want to apologize to those people. I talked about I don't want to have anything to do with people with disabilities, and I just want to apologize to all of these people, and for how I acted, for how I behaved. You guys are just the way you are. There's nothing I can do about it. All I can do is just overlook what you guys do and say and just move on. And I can't control you guys. I'm not going to control you guys. So I want to apologize to all of you. Yeah. So that's all I got to say in this video. Merci beaucoup. Merci beaucoup. Thank you. Au revoir. Cheers.